Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to be painting in a style that's different than anything I've done. It's going to be kind of a watercolor style in a batik style. I saw these paintings on the walls at our hotel in Orlando, and I thought I'd try it with this heron that we've already done once. So there was quite a bit of prep to this. First of all, I traced the heron and a lot of the feathers and the color changes with graphite tracing paper. And then I went over it with Pebeo Drawing Gum, and I left myself one little line so I could demonstrate this to you. So the first thing is that take a brush and put it into dilute shampoo. And then I really get that through the fibers, through the hairs of the brush. And then I take my Pebeo Drawing Gum and dip it in and get the extra to go down back into the jar like that. And then just using the tip of the brush, I'm going over all those graphite lines. So that was the last little bit. I put little lines here. And then you need to rinse your brush really well right away. So that's the only part on this that's wet now, and I'm just gonna let that part dry on its own while I start working in the other parts. I'm going to save the background last. What I'm going to do right now is just go through. So I broke this up into little pieces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint each piece just with some fun blue and brown colors. So I'm going to start with cerulean, and this is the Da Vinci cerulean. I don't even think I'm not even gonna wet this. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna paint each little piece of this with these beautiful colors. After I put one color in, I'm gonna go in and just add a little different color into it so that each little piece of this is just got its own pretty little colors. This is burnt sienna. I'm going to go in with this and paint this part here. And you can just pick whatever colors you want. So I'm just going over this. And then I'm going to put some other colors into this so that they just sort of make some beautiful colors. Just, I don't know, what should we add to this? Some red, some pink? Why not? Some permanent rose in there. Okay, then I'm just going to go to the next spot and oops, I got a blob of water right there. We'll see what that does. I might like it. Sometimes the mistakes are the best part. I'm going to go down here and sort of do the same thing using kind of the same colors, but maybe a little different. So this Pebeo is kind of acting like wax. So I can paint over the top of it, but it's resisting it. And when we get all done, then this will be all white in there. Let's see, what should I add this time? I'm gonna try some, ooh. That is, Neutral tint. I just put in neutral tint. And I'm adding some red to that. I just am playing with some pretty colors today. So those little parts are done. I'm going to go in here now. I'm going to make those blue also, or blue, cerulean. Sometimes I'm kind of slopping over the edge, and you know, I'm getting older now, so those little mistakes don't bother me at all. Oh, what color shall I add to that? Maybe some French. Maybe some more violet. Okay. This part of this wing here is kind of darkish brown. So I think I'll go with my burnt sienna and a little neutral tint and see what it does in here. Ooh, that's quite dark. Can't wait to decide what to add to this. Maybe some French. Don't want to overdo this too much. Okay, this part of the wing here has got the blue. And then this, let's see, and I'm going to add more French to that again, French and purple. Here, this one is kind of the dark brown again. I just really want my browns to all have these other beautiful colors in them. Oops, that's the white. Pretend I didn't do that. Did a quick lift on that. Maybe I'll go with, okay, so this is kind of the dark. This is the dark spot I meant to go to. This is the neutral tint. What am I going to add to that? Maybe some pink. And now this white area. I'm just kind of slopping a little bit of that color over into it and call it good. Yeah, that's nice. That's good enough for me. Okay, now I'm going to go to the body. And this looks like there's quite a bit of the cerulean. I love this new old cerulean. I think that this is the cerulean I used to have when I started painting. Okay. It's the same, it's the old pigment, and I'm glad that I'm back to using it. What should I put in there? More violet. What the heck? And then I think there's a little reddish spot right here. So I think what I'll do with that is just put this pink permanent rose in there. And then maybe a little tiny bit of burnt sienna. So it's okay, good enough. And then this here is kind of the dark color again. So I'll start with my burnt sienna. Oh, it touched over there. See, I don't mind it kind of touching over occasionally because it's, what should I put in there? Let's try some more French and purple. Okay, right in there. Okay, I like that. Now down here, let's do the face now. So the beak is sort of red, really. So I'm going to use burnt sienna and permanent rose and just go in here and do that. How far do I want to go with that? This is that same color. I'm going to put it over there too. I'm going to put some right here also. Tempted to just even put the legs in this color right while I'm doing it. Why not? And then I can just go back in with a little bit of burnt sienna and neutral tint and put kind of a line down it. Maybe throw another color in there, some violet, just for a good time. Doesn't have to be a lot of it, just a little bit. Okay, and I have the eye Pebeo. Probably when it's done, I may go back in and darken it. So this top of the head is going to be mainly French ultramarine blue up here. What should I mix it with? Maybe just French. That's kind of pretty. And then this part of it going down. Let's just make that about French and cerulean. Coming over here, touching that. Coming down here. Okay, and I want to have some other colors mixed in with that, which should be, I don't know, I just really love burnt sienna. What the heck? Oh, I went outside the line. That's all right too. And maybe the neutral tint with purple. What does that do? Oh, that gives a super dark color. So we'll just put a little bit of that in. Let this sort of blend. It's sort of making these little feathers here. Okay, I touched that somehow with something, some part of my brush or my dirty fingers. So really, that's the whole bird already. I kind of like that mistake in there. I'm going to leave it to see what it does. I like that this wing back here is a little bit lighter than the foreground of this body. And what I'm going to do now is just wet the background with my 3/4 inch flat brush and really try not to get the water over the line. So what I mean is over the Pebeo. And then I'm just gonna have some fun with the background. So I'm wetting. I'm wetting my paper, but I'm leaving a little dry area between the Pebeo and the bird that I've already painted. So this is going to be the hardest part, is to just paint right up next to it, but not go over the bird. edge there. Alrighty, now one of the tricks when you're doing a painting like this is just use the colors that you've already used. You don't need to, you're not going into, if you add new colors, it's not going to be analogous. You're going to know that they're just going to look odd. So you need to use, in the background, you need to use the exact same colors that you used in the main part of the bird. So you can't be adding any new colors, but use up all the ones that you've used already. So there's that was cerulean. Now I'm going to use a little French. If I put French on one side of the bird, on the right side of the bird, then that same color needs to be on the left side of the bird and right in there too. I'm trying to go right up next to the bird. I think what I'll do is use this little pencil brush and very carefully go right up next to it. Because I want this paint to go right next to the Pebeo so that only the Pebeo is white. I can see a little problem here. My little problem is that I have white here in the neck of the bird. So I want to have whatever color is going around the bird to be on right up next to on both sides. This just takes a little bit of patience and recognizing that whatever color's on one side of the bird, it needs to be on the other side of the bird. There I touched some of this. I went outside the line, so it's blending, which is fine with me. So I'll just, if I have a little bit there that blended out, I'll just put a little bit over here and here, so that that little streak goes all the way across, even though it was a mistake. And if I have it above the beak, it needs to be, or below the beak, that needs to be above the beak too. It needs to be in here and here, here, here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put in something at the bottom. I feel like it needs to be a little darker. So I think the neutral tint with the violet's probably a really good choice down here at the bottom. So. I kind of got a fat leg right there. How high up should this go? I think I'll do another dark line. Right in here. This one maybe I'll do some French into it. Put some more, oh, I'll put some at the bottom too. And then I'll put a dark line here. Wait. What do we have going on right in here? It's almost like a wave. I think I had some water and it made a watermark. I am not hating this. I think it's different. I think it's a little bit weird. I do feel like I need to have some grasses coming up. That's a big part of this painting. So what I'm going to just do is take this brush and just put a few grasses. They're going to be blurry. That's fine with me. Not really going up over the bird because, well, this one's going behind, I guess. Okay. Now, do I feel like it needs anything else? Does it need some splatters? I think I'll quit and just see what this looks like when I take off the Pebeo. Okay, so I'm going to dry this right now using my blow dryer to make sure this is all dry, but I'm seeing a little thing right here. This needs to be darkened just on both sides of that leg. Here. A few little more grasses. They're going to be blurry and indistinct. Okay, now I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to take off the Pebeo and see what it looks like. Hopefully I can cut that drying sound out. I should have my pickup out already. I'm sorry. I don't. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to just take off the Pebeo now. And it's done unless we need to do some other things. Let's see how it looks. Oh, most of the beak pulled up. I may have to go back in and put that beak in. When you lift up your Pebeo, the paper has to be dry, or you'll just smear all those white lines. And I'm hardly ever good at picking them all up or waiting long enough, but today I am, so. Oh, I kind of like it. This is kind of fun. It's a little different. A lot of prep work, but the painting part's easy. So, just looking at this, the thing that I feel like I need to do is put a little black in the eye, and the beak needs to be redone. So I'm going to take this small brush here and go back to my, I'm thinking this is, okay. Okay, so I'm going to still pretend that there's a little white area around the beak. So I don't want to go right to the edge. I want to leave the Pebeo showing some of it. Okay. And I want to make this brush is going to do it for me. I'm going to make a little eyeball around. This brush is a little too thick for this job. Okay, so I made a round, and I'll leave a little. There's a glint. I like the glint, and I like all of this. I'm not so sure that I like the white there in the reflection at the feet, so I'm just gonna, this brush is, I used it because I wasn't sure how it would do with the Pebeo. I didn't want to, yeah, I like that better. That goes like that, yeah. And I think that's it. I think I'm gonna be done. I think I do like that watermark okay. I'm not too thrilled about this one, but I'm gonna leave it anyway. Okay, thanks for watching till the end. Bye.